Let's get it on then, shall we? Mwah. Welcome to Sex on the Peach, your weekly hump day dose of everyone's favourite untalked about topic, sex. Let's get honest, let's get open, let's get comfortable, and let's get into this week's show. Friends, lovers, listeners, happy Wednesday, happy hump day, and happy Sex on the Peach day. First of all, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who reached out after last week's episode, whether with your own experiences or just with well wishes and kind words. I truly, truly appreciate the support. Whilst it was absolutely a hard, complex and quite nerve-wracking episode to record and to put out there, seeing the responses and knowing it has made people out there feel less alone in their own journeys has made it more than worth it. And whilst it highlights how much further we still have to go in terms of healthcare and support, I'm truly grateful to have a space here that feels safe for people to be vulnerable and open. So thank you again. On a happier note, today I am of course joined by my two best friends, Devika Joshi and Faye Moorhouse, because it is indeed that time, the season finale. I can't believe we are now 2 years in and 3 seasons down already, but as always, today we put aside the education, we put aside the science, and instead we find the joy and the silliness, usually in the things I've been getting myself into. So join us today as we joke, discuss, roast, laugh, debate, and chat our way through our summers, your questions, your stories, and your would you rathers. So let's get into it. As we are about to move into Feral Girl Fall, here is, of course, the Sket-Tea Summer Season Finale. Ladies, we are back and thank you for joining me for the season 3 finale of Sex on the Peach. I'm nervous. I don't know why.
Maybe you're nervous because you're drinking some random alcohol from your fridge.
I'm drinking a bottle of espresso martini that was left in my fridge that apparently expired in June.
Also, can we take this moment to just let the world know that you recycle your candles into glasses?
I do. I recycle the candle jars into tumblers. But also, this is probably the last episode of Sex on the Peach that will be filmed from this bedroom where the magic.
Oh my God. I totally forgot that was a thing. Right. So for everybody who doesn't know, Peach is about to move into a mansion. She's going into a mansion. You could probably have like a whole Sex on the Peach room. What you could do is you could have a sex dungeon. And then it's also the studio that you record Sex on the Peach in. Then you can bring guests in. Into the dungeon. But I will, I think, sage this room, this sacred house before the new people move in. Oh, and actually, to be fair, when I was trying to sell this house, not only do I have my Sex on the Peach sign proudly displayed on my cabinet, but I also have like multiple books about sex on all of the shelves. And about 5 viewings in, my estate agent asked me what all of that was, because they were like, oh, a few people that we've been showing around have wondered what that's about.
What do you mean?
Well, the huge Sex on the Peach sign that I have on my, I think they were just like,
what does she do?
Okay, can I clarify? The listing for your place was eclectic.
Well, I think they thought maybe I was an OnlyFans creator, which I don't know what difference that should make. If you want to buy the house, you want to buy the house. I also don't know if they opened any wardrobe doors.
or what is it, the graveyard of sex toys? They're like, oh.
I don't know if they discovered the graveyard of sex toys. But anyway, the house is sold, so clearly the buyers
on board with that.
Maybe
they've listened to the podcast.
Hi, if you're listening, I hope you enjoy the house. But a lot of life transitions because, yes, I am moving house. So the rest of Sex on the Beach will be taking place from Peach's Palace 2.0. But some other news that we have in terms of life things, our dearest Devika has committed to one penis forever because she's got an engaged.
You guys are so cute. Yes, I got engaged. I said yes, but I also micromanaged the fuck out of it. I told everyone. I told everyone at work. I told you guys. I told my family. So it was the worst kept secret. And I was just excited. I was like, I knew that it was happening over a 2-week stint. I didn't know which day. So every day I was like, is today the day? So I was eagerly anticipating it happening. And yeah, I mean, it was a mutual decision. So I wasn't surprised. I was just looking forward to hearing what my partner came up with because we're not like the most, I'd say, overly sentimental. I mean, maybe I am, but he's not. So I was like, what are you going to say? And then we both cried. It was beautiful. We don't even have a ring. We still don't have a ring. It was just like we're never going to do better than like this moment. This is a really nice story. Like it just was special for both of us. So, and I didn't want to outsource all the stress onto him because I don't think that's fair. You know, it was just really sweet. It was like the beach sunset.
Very romantic.
Very romantic. And immediately tried to use it for personal gain. So we were like, how can we then use this to our advantage? Can we then get free upgrades? No, people don't care.
You're like, put me in business, bitch.
Legit. No, it was really sweet. Poor Jimmy, my fiance. We put it on Instagram and he was like, most of my Instagram posts get 7 likes. And he's like, this has 700. So he's like really overwhelmed.
Oh.
It was cute.
Dev, how do you feel? One penis forever, pillow princess to one man forever.
Pillow
How's
princess.
it feeling?
Great. Nothing has changed. I'm still going to be giving it pillow princess till the day I die.
Did you have good proposal, engagement, sex?
Yeah, but it was the day after. Because we were
exhausted,
a little too drunk and exhausted from the day of.
So many people don't even have sex on the night of their wedding. So like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, honestly, just exhausted, tired. Like I was sandy. I was like, this is not sexy because we were on the beach. And then, yeah, so the next day was great. But the day of was giving.
That was an earthquake sex though, right?
No, earthquake sex was.
Oh my God, earthquake sex.
This was in Bali. So we were like fooling around. And I remember texting you guys like instantly. We were in this bed in this hotel that had like French windows. That was like the way to get into the room. And we were just like hooking up in the morning. And then all of a sudden it started like shaking. And Jimmy was like, oh, this must be like the wind. And I was like, I think it's an earthquake. And then his reaction was, get in the doorway. It's the most structurally sound place here.
No, that's correct. That's what you meant to do during an earthquake.
No, I agree, but he didn't come with
that
me.
Is so
I
Jimmy.
was like, so he's like lying in bed naked, like get in the doorway. And I was like, great, okay, I'll do it.
Are you coming?
Like, I do want to live, but, you know, cool, okay. But this was pre-proposal, so it wasn't until death do us part at that point. Like, bye.
I also enjoy that when you sent us that story, I presumed that the earthquake had, like, participated in your sexual time together. I'm like, oh my God, did it like heighten things? Like, was it giving like vibration?
No.
You were like, no, we were scared for our lives.
So, you know, if we're going to do one penis for life, like throw in some earthquakes.
We all can't wait for the wedding. I'll be live streaming.
Yeah, please. Sex on the beach. Hi. But it's crazy. Like the amount of people in my life, or even in your life, I'm sure, have come up to you, I'm sure for Katie Faye, have been like, I've listened to you on the podcast. Like, I love Sex on the Beach. Like, it's crazy how prolific it's become. Maybe that's just like the industry that we're in or like people that know each other. But I've had multiple people come up to me who I don't know saying like, I loved listening to your episode. I love listening to like you guys doing the tour episode. That seems to be a popular one.
That is actually one of the most listened to episodes.
But that's great. I love it.
That controversial episode. It was actually the fastest listened to episode by the largest amount of people. And I'm like, oh, there's a lot of people out there scared for their lives. But even the other day I met someone at a party and they thought they knew me. And I went with it because why not? And the connection was actually that they know the two of you. And they had listened to your episodes on this podcast. And so they thought they knew me sort of by association from like having heard me like talk so much, which is what we realized in the end. But there we go. It's really connecting people.
So he told me that story. He said that he
thought he knew me from school. From
college.
He
was like, oh my God, we went to school together. And then he was like, and then it transpired that we didn't.
No, I graduated about 5 fucking years before him because I'm like ancient. Because I'm 500 years old.
The most feared witch in the village.
I'm actually 1076 years old. So one of my friends was like, oh, how does that make you feel that Dev's engaged?
What were they hoping
for? What do you
for?
mean? Are you suggesting that I'm sad because I'm not engaged? Because
no, I think people have this thing about like everyone has to have the same things that they want for their life. And if your friends don't have the exact same things, and like you must be disagreeing with them or you must be like devaluing what they're thinking. And I'm like, even just talking about being fluid or having different styles of relationships, like I've always said, knowing that there are multiple styles of being partnered, being with multiple partners, not being with a partner, that has never ever threatened what I want from my life. And I just wish that more people were like, and like that's never made me think, oh, I can't talk to like my girlfriends about this because like they might not want the exact same thing. And whether that's like what, you know, gender, sexuality, whatever your partner is, or what if you don't want a partner, that's never made me go, oh my God, but like I should be ashamed of what I want, right? Yeah. And I just would hope that that's like the society that we're
maybe this person thought that you were actually in love with Dev. You would be really,
that
really
would be a more realistic
that she was now engaged because it's taken her off the market,
Jimmy.
And now you can no longer pursue your lifelong goal of being married to her.
Do you think an engagement would put me off? I'm joking. I'm joking.
She's given it the real long game, as in like I am dead set on just being a home wrecker for the rest of my life. I object.
On the wedding day, she is mine. And me at the end, do you still want me to sing?
Ave.
The amount of people who over our time have thought that me and Dev are like secretly in love with each other, though, like it would actually make sense. But I do think they were suggesting, oh, how does that make you feel that your friends who are younger than you, because I'm 2,800 years old. Every time we talk about my age, I'm getting older. How does it feel that your friends are around you are getting engaged? And I'm like, I had a really successful Sket-Tea summer. Like we're heading into feral girl fall now, but like Sket-Tea summer was like absolutely a phenomenal time for me. So I feel like we've all achieved some real goals.
You're also like, I've been married for like 10 years, been there, done that. Don't want to do it again. Thanks so much.
Yeah. You're like, calm down.
I just got my surname back. Like, please let me breathe. I don't even know what to tick when I fill out forms because it's like married, divorced, separated, single. I'm like, I'm all of those things. What one do I choose?
She's the entire cast of 6 at once.
You would definitely have been beheaded in those times.
Yeah, and I'd been off with her head in a heartbeat. Okay, so I said to Dev and Katie, the two girls who know me better than probably anyone else in the world at this moment in time, that on this season finale of Sex on the Beach, they had freedom to ask me some questions because I normally have the power of the questions. I know what's been sent in.
I feel like we've done you mega dirty here. I feel like
we haven't.
In some senses we've been quite tame.
This is pretty good.
The questions I feel are going to be tough for you to answer, but I don't think we're going to get you into any trouble.
Okay.
Oh God, I literally feel sick.
No, you're good. We've got like 5 or 6. We'll be good. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. If you had to go on a Netflix dating show, which one would it be and why?
Oh,
this is the tamest one.
Probably Love is Blind, because I'm definitely all about the chat. So I think like I would want to judge if someone was good chat, because there's nothing worse for me than being bored of someone's conversation after 10, 15 minutes, because someone can be what could be considered the most attractive person in the world. And then you start chatting to them and I'm like, I'm asleep. I mean, listen, they're all kind of problematic in their own way. But I think anything that even to the wider audience promotes personality over looks is important, because I would always say I want my looks to be the least interesting thing about me. So I think that kind of aligns with that. But to clarify, I won't be going on any dating shows because they all have to get married at the end. And as we've just discussed.
What if you I actually thought you were going to say
I
too
wanted
hot to
you
handle
to
and then
say
just ignore
too
the
hot
rules.
to handle, because you would be so funny on that program.
Excellent.
Yeah, but
That's
I'd
why it
lose
would be
everyone's
so
money.
good.
So
that
like,
that is exactly why you would be.
Who cares?
Unreal.
But I would feel guilt because I would lose that entire jackpot. Well, maybe that's also assuming people are going to get invested with me, not me just like wanking on the sidelines.
That would also be
losing all the money
really funny, actually.
solo.
Guys, I have to masturbate multiple times a day. The prize
that
fund
would
is
actually be
going
the best
down
thing if like you
it
didn't sleep with other people, but how you lost everybody's money was because you just could not stop masturbating. And everyone's like, wow, she's not even giving in to like the cardinal sin of like lusting after somebody else. It's just over herself.
Yeah, and then the cone would be like, guys, we have to admit something like to the group, and they're like, you have lost the cone. You've lost like 100K on your own.
You fucked everyone over. Ah, thank you.
Single-handedly, well done. Hey.
Someone has masturbated their way to zero.
She's actually in negative money.
Yeah, actually, you have to pay us to be on this program now. That's probably a more apt program for me to be on. Yes, but I would fail everyone.
Dream celebrity threesome.
Okay.
Do you know, maybe we should adapt this question to be dream MT boy between.
No. No, because I can't name people that I know.
That's the point of the game.
There's no MT boys left to be in my dream scenario. I'm joking. I love you all. I'm obsessed with you. That's tough. I always think when people ask these questions,
I agree.
You can never remember anyone. I don't know who anyone is apart from the two of you here right now. I would have in the past always gone for a Hugh Jackman,
he was the first
he's giving a musical
name that
theatre
came to mind for me. So, yeah.
Really? Okay.
For me.
For you or for her?
Yeah.
Oh.
But you can have him as well.
Okay.
I'll come and join in and we'll just do the three of us.
So it's you three. It's you three. God damn.
Because I think of it more from like the Wolverine sense. But technically, he is an MT crossover because he's done multiple musicals in his time. But I'd be like, please don't bring the MT vibe. Bring the
finger blades
vibe.
That's what comes out of his hand in Wolverine.
What?
Yeah, I'd be like, well, keep them to your fucking self.
Yeah, you don't want that in the threesome.
We don't want that. We don't want slicing and dicing. And I guess like probably I'd still go with like Megan Fox. She's
that would be a really interesting setup.
Really interesting. Yeah.
But I like that you're consistent. You're like, I'm a Megan Fox girl.
Yeah.
I am a Megan Fox girl. I find her very intriguing. Definitely troubled, but I'm not anti that. As we know, because I'm heavily invested in the MT boys between height 5'10", 5'11", and they are all fucking troubled. I love you all. I'm obsessed with you all. So we know that troubled does not offend me, but we'll go with...
It would be very on brand of you anyway to be giving it like DMC with Megan about any of her troubles and then going into sex afterwards.
The aftercare will be long.
What is the craziest message you've received from a troll about your sex podcast?
I don't think there's been like one that has like insanely stood out to me more than others, because it's a very similar kind of thing every time. In terms of trolls, it's often no one will ever fucking want to touch me ever again, which is just inaccurate.
The pause.
Which has been proved to not be true. And just calling me like a fucking absolute disgrace to women everywhere. I am the reason that the world is falling apart, society is falling apart. Like, I am to blame for the demise of the nuclear family and the desire for everyone to be in monogamous relationships, apparently.
Single-handedly.
You single-handedly.
Like, ruining the world,
yeah.
I'm like, love that for me, actually. I get a lot of feminist ho. I'm like, absolutely stunning, but please address me properly. It's feminist sket. But the funniest ones, obviously, as we know, I love to roast an MT boy on my social media, but the joke is on me. The joke is on me because of my past sexual roster. But my funniest horrible messages is when they come from men within that demographic.
Yeah, what sort of things do they say
with me? Well, a lot of the time it gives hashtag not all men. The point is, you normally are fucking people over, but I'm not really in a position to be fucked over. So I can't even be like, prove me wrong, baby. It's mostly like, okay, we've had enough of this shit. Not this again.
On behalf of all of my niche bracket.
The collective we. I'm like, some of them fucking love it. What are you talking about? I'm like, sorry, before you come for me, can you clarify your height? I've made my point clear. I don't want you coming to me at a 6'2". But yeah, I often get blamed for the demise of women and the demise of the desire for women to be feminine, because apparently I'm incredibly masculine.
But I said this earlier. I was like, I don't understand like why that threatens people. And I think this is like something I've seen in society. Is like anytime someone opens up and goes, I think that there's another way of doing things, everyone goes, fuck you. Like, it has to be the way it's always been done. You were saying people talking about you discussing like cheating and monogamy and alternatives to monogamy, and the amount of people that were so upset that were up in your DMs were people that had cheated. So it was like, what is this? Like, you don't even subscribe to that.
Yeah.
Like, you're not even someone who is like, I want to be 100% monogamous. So why are you so offended that someone's saying you can do other things than just fit yourself into this box, right?
Yeah. I'm like, listen, if you can't find a girlfriend, fiance, wife, mother to your children, it's not because of me.
Yeah.
It might be easy for you to blame me. Maybe it's time to look inward. I know that's unfair to say. I think dating is difficult in this day and age, but it's literally nothing to do with
but also,
me.
If someone's hurting an abuse at you, then regardless of what's going on, they definitely need to be looking inward, because there's something really wrong.
Right. If you are literally like sending abusive messages to someone on Instagram, either because you're in the demographic of MT boys, height 5'10", 5'11", or because you're a random incel on the internet, either way, if you are choosing to listen to an educational, mostly, podcast about sex and relationships and send me abuse, that might be why you're not finding
I just think anyone who takes it to heart, I'm like, well, clearly this is striking a nerve for you. And if this is striking a nerve for you, is that maybe because you do fit? I don't know. Just something to think about.
Because my favorites are the ones that I do have history with, and they reply with laughing face emojis, or they indulge in it with me. I'm like, yeah, this is what we're here for. They get that the joke is on me. I'm like, haha, yeah, wasn't our time great back in 2019? Anyway, I don't know that there is one specific message that has like stood out the most to me, but I am solely to blame for the demise of feminine, submissive women in society, according to Instagram. But I never know what they want from me. I'm like, when you send me these messages, do you think I'm going to go, do you know what? You're right. I'm going to be a submissive housewife. You're right. Absolutely. You've made your point and I hear you. And I will no longer be a sket. I'm ready to to get married. And because there's nothing wrong with being a submissive housewife. If that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. And I support that as being your choice. But you, just to anyone listening, if you send me messages on the internet, I'm probably still going to go out tomorrow and have sex with 5 people.
Can you read us the most surprising DM from someone who publicly claims to disagree with your views?
Wait, what do you mean?
I mean, people that pretend to not be.
This is so
interested.
Targeted.
I know that you've had responses or you've had people message you who have publicly been like, get fucked, Peach, this makes no sense, or I don't agree with you, or what you're promoting, and then have DM'd you something different.
Mm-hmm. I'm like aimlessly scrolling back. Give me like 2 minutes.
Your weekly Hump
Thanks for coming.
Sabrina LOS
so good.
A shout out at this point because her impression of the podcast sent me sideways.
Favorite untalked about topic.
This is good.
I don't know that this is exactly what you were looking for, but someone who
I'm ready,
who actively disagreed with most of the things that I say on the podcast. They did send me a message saying, please, may I have a slice of peach pie?
Not the
Just
slither.
A slither.
No.
Yeah.
I just...
what?
Wow.
Of peach pie?
Yeah. That was someone who really actively disagreed with me existing, but they wanted just a slither. I'm sure if I scrolled on back, there'd be more, but we've got worse
Who do you
things to get
feel
into.
like you would be more comfortable participating in a sexual threesome with? Dev and Jimmy or me and Martin?
Oh my God, what the fuck?
Originally, the boys weren't involved. It was just us.
At present, we haven't received consent from the boys.
They're just so different because you are just so different. Because I know
that's also something that I thought would be taken into consideration.
Wow. Thanks, guys.
I know with Dev, I got to put the work in. Whereas with Katie, maybe I could be giving it Pillow Princess.
Well, we all know Martin does.
It's well, also like I don't, you guys, you're engaged.
Ruffle any
I don't want to like
feathers.
intrude. I will be at your wedding supporting you, and probably if it's prefaced with a threesome, maybe that's just not going to be the best for all of us.
Unless I'm like threesome and then you have to sing and wear pink. Wow. Okay. I'll take that. I love how happy Katie Faye is about how stressed this made you.
Ideally, I'd get rid of the boys. No offense intended.
Would you ever feel comfortable with a friend asking you to join in? Or should it always be a stranger with them and their partner? Thank you. Thanks so much.
It would be situation dependent, I think. A threesome isn't really my bag anyway. I actually prefer a one-on-one situation. It's a bit too much admin for me when there's like multiple people involved. And actually, I think a threesome for me is like particularly awkward. Fair. I would almost rather there be more people.
Okay.
I would probably rather random, but it would be situation dependent. I think it would be very dependent on what my relationship is with those friends. Because as lovely as that question was, I probably wouldn't risk it with either of you and your partners.
That wasn't the follow-up question. What are you doing tomorrow?
That was nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be.
The friend that you went to the sex party with, did you two do anything together whilst you were there?
We did not specifically do anything to each other, but we may have been involved with the same person. And we both know what each other looks like, fucking another human and engaging in oral sex with another human.
Okay, yeah,
so, we're closer for it. Okay, so Dev, I believe that you've got our updated X list because I gave everyone the option. And I will say to send in questions, stories, confessions, thoughts, feelings, opinions, would you rathers, X Tales of the MT boys between height 5'10", 5'11", and that is the only category that no one replied to. So I don't know what that says.
Interesting.
Interesting.
These are fantastic. Okay. Please stop bringing your babies to brunch.
It's a difficult ick. That's complicated.
I think that if all of your friends are in a similar stage of life,
it's annoying.
And you are not, it's annoying because you're like, I don't give a shit about your baby, which is fine.
Yeah, but that's going to be me when you all have children and I'm going to be like, hey, let's not bring them. No, I'm joking. I'm going to be the best aunt.
You're going to be like 7 margaritas deep at brunch and Katie Faye is going to be like breastfeeding.
Oh no, why is that so accurate?
Guy kept calling me big boy and he wasn't even talking about my penis.
Yeah, what was he talking about? His weight?
Probably. Or like, hey, you're like a tall or being bigger than him. Hey, big boy. Oh,
I support whatever gets people off. But I think like maybe, I don't know that you just go in with that.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't know how someone would feel on the receiving end of that.
If someone said like, hey, you're like, you know, you're such a beefy girl or big girl, I would.
Beefy girl.
I would see, my piano teacher called me that once.
Your piano teacher once called you a beefy girl. What?
Wait, what the fuck? A beaver? Didn't your piano teacher used to like hit on you?
No, different one. This was an old gay man. This was an very old gay man in school. He referred to me as beefy and I wanted to like just cease to exist at that point. I just think any comments about someone's appearance.
I am outraged.
Beefy.
No, I support that ick.
Okay, I'm Polly and currently texting a man 20 years older than me. I'm loving it, but sometimes he does cringe older man things, like using social media awkwardly, and I get the ick.
It's
still gotta bang
like
him though.
Someone who comments, "Lovely photos, Jackie. Hope the kids are doing well." Looks like a wonderful time was had by all. Kiss, kiss.
That's it.
A wonderful time was had by all.
All power
You're
to
still
him.
going to bang him. Well, I'd like to hope he's not going to be on social media when you are banging. So that's not the awkward
Pocket
social
dials the
media
live
use.
action on Instagram when we're making.
Okay, but I feel like this goes the other way
What,
because you've definitely done that with someone. With sexting.
What?
Nope. No. Peach has done that with sexting where like you weren't giving the sexting back and you were like, oh, I'm busy.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Anyone who's ever sexted with me, I have not been doing fucking anything. I've been like cleaning the kitchen.
I'm dead.
I've Googled responses. I'm not going to fucking lie.
Oh my God.
Do you know what? Gen Z have it fucking easy because if they want to sext, they just fucking put it through ChatGPT.
That's so true.
No problem.
With my first ever boyfriend, we used to write each other legit novels.
Oh my God, same. Full erotic
paragraphs.
paragraphs. If there are people of a certain demographic out there who have received a sext essay from me, if you will, you've all got the same one.
I am dead.
It's a copy and paste.
Oh,
it's saved in my notes.
No,
it's template. To just insert name here.
Shall I read it out?
No, yeah,
I think you should.
Yeah.
No, I think you should.
No.
Yeah, sorry. Really
The first
sorry
line,
about
the
that,
first
but you
line.
Put yourself in the firing line for this one. No.
Oh my God, she found it.
The first line is kind of basic, but I'm just like, oh no. If anyone listens to this, they're going to be like, hold the fuck on. I'm slowly touching myself. Am I? No, absolutely not. Literally probably in my pajamas watching Friends. Anyway, I hate everything right now. This is hell. And just the thought of you touching me has me so wet. It's the first line. It's also set
on a
on a
balcony. So all of the people that you've sent this to think that you have a balcony at your house.
No, because it's like a scenario, a fantastical
Oh, what? So they
scenario.
know that it's not happening live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. This is like an essay for them to read and have a good time over.
Wow.
For anyone out there who has the balcony paragraph, I apologize. As I'm reading it, I'm like, do you know what? I should start writing
I think you
erotic
should.
literature. To be fair, I haven't sent that paragraph out for years, so that was
Very
fast
good.
searching from me as well.
Huge ick that turned me off a girl was her not knowing who the prime minister
I
was.
think that's fair.
What's that face for, Katie Faye? Oh, I thought you were going to be like, I don't know who the prime minister is. As we know, I'm a political galley, so
yeah.
if someone couldn't debate politics with me for a start, I'd be stressed. Let alone if they couldn't tell me who's leading the country.
I think it's realizing that they like weren't on the same level when this person had no idea.
I actually do think sometimes it might be nicer to live in that bubble.
Then they need to find each other then. Those
But
people.
also no, because I need you to get out and fucking vote. So get it together. If I went on a date and someone didn't know who the prime minister is, I'd be like, that's cute, but this is where it ends.
And you would 100% be bringing that up on the first date. quick fire.
I'm like, what's your name? Oh my God, it's so cute. Who do you vote for?
Yo. Even 1 yo is distasteful, but 3 is just ridiculous and unwarranted.
Wait, didn't I call myself out for saying yo on this podcast
you did
once?
do that. Leading on
Not a triple
from the yo, people who use the word bro. No, you don't. Give me an example.
Sometimes when people send me the fucking shitty DMs, I'm like, chill the fuck out, bro.
On the back of that, the next one is excessive punctuation in texts. Do you know what my ick is? Ellipses in the message. Like if someone's writing to you and they're like, "Hey, ... Do
you know what it's full of ...
That's the balcony.
I don't know if
I'm on the
anybody
balcony.
else's minds do this, but when you're talking about something, do you start to create this image in your head? Well, the funniest thing is what I'm actually thinking about is you in a dressing gown with a towel on your head,
which
like
is most
of
the time,
eating a croissant,
being like, bend me over the balcony. I would like to do a disclaimer, actually, to be fair, when I'm in relationships with people and maybe I'm going to see them that night, if we're having a sexy build-up conversation, I'm invested. Because I'm like, yeah, let's get it fucking going on. I've said it before. I'm not great at like the screen sex side of things. What were we talking about? We've completely lost our way.
Oh, it was the punctuation.
Wow, that was a real tangent.
We really digressed.
Next.
This one I feel like is a throwback to Katie Faye's obsession with beds. Only has one pillow.
Oh no, that is a disaster. Who has been in that scenario?
Was this from you?
No.
Behind me, I have 4 pillows and 5 cushions, and it's just me. Sex aside, I can't do one pillow. I try not to be judgmental, but I'd be a bit stressed. And not that I'd be staying the night, because we all know I don't fucking stay the night.
I feel like Katie Faye has opinions.
Yeah, she's giving face.
I just legit think that if I saw that, I would really question the life choices that led me to that moment to even be in the same place as someone who would have a singular pillow.
But how would you know?
I just like to think that I can see a bad bedding person a mile off.
And yet you were in situations where you wound up in...
I've learned from those scenarios.
Okay.
When people would like not dry their bedding properly and then just throw it on as if it's okay. And I'm like, are you sick in the head?
Takes off necklace or chain before hooking up with you. Your chain cannot be that valuable.
I'm not averse to that.
Yeah, because I also like, there's nothing for me. I hate if I am giving someone head and like my own necklace is like hitting me in the face.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like mine gets in the way all the time, like because it comes all the way up to my mouth.
Yeah, or like literally goes in your fucking mouth.
Katie Faye's going, and my link below for Monica Venator is this.
And if anyone's in the market for a new chain.
If anyone wants to keep their chain on and they want to be proud of it, we can drop the link.
Unnecessarily shortening words. For example, Menti B, Causey lives.
Oh no, I love a Menti B.
I love Menti B. Platty Jubes was great.
Platty Jubes was so good.
I don't think I can judge anyone's shortening of terms when I say it's giving every other sentence.
We talked about that today with you saying it's giving discrimination.
In a heavy work investigation.
It's giving.
It's giving discrimination.
Well, it was.
Outstanding. They have a Velcro wallet or purse.
Oh, yeah, God, no.
I also think that I have forgotten what it's like to even see someone like with a wallet or a purse, because we all just, are so like frivolous with Apple Pay.
Yeah.
Or using our phones to pay for everything.
What's a Velcro purse?
Why are you pretending not to be British again?
Well, bitch. As in like a purse that you would carry?
Purse is in the English term, which you are.
A wallet. A wallet. No, I thought a purse was like a handbag.
No, you're so irritating. What's up with you?
That's the American term for bag.
Stop pretending.
You're not fooling anyone.
You've lived here since 2000.
It's 2024. Do we need feminine and masculine terms for a way to carry your money anyway? It is just
is giving a little sexist.
A woman's wallet. If I liked everything else about that person, I don't know that I'd be like, that's it. That's the deal breaker.
Monzo me, bitch. It's fine.
I'll pay. Monzo me later.
If you choose to not have Monzo, then unfortunately I just won't be paying you back.
They have to repeat themselves when Siri, Alexa, or Google doesn't understand them.
So someone who I may or may not have been involved with last year, this isn't mine.
Okay.
But I did hear them once have a full argument with Siri while they were in the shower because Siri wasn't playing the song that they wanted them to. And I was unnerved by it, if you will.
But like, what's great is that like, obviously the AIs or whatever, they don't escalate. So it's just watching the other person escalate while they're just like, did you mean this? And they're like, get fucked.
They were like screaming at Siri whilst in the shower. Where do we start with Sket-Tea Summer?
When did we leave the listeners?
Well, we left the listeners at the end of 2023, at the end of what we would call a difficult year. And we started 2024 with a few months of celibacy, or as we call the great sexual reset of 2024 after a year of some pretty poor decisions.
Oh yeah, it was like just after Valentine's Day, right?
On Valentine's Day, I had not had sex.
No.
I had not had partnered sex in 2024. I'd been given it like absolute masturbation, too hot to handle, 0 pence left in the prize pot. I gave myself a few months because, as we know, for anyone who listened to the season finale last time, I got myself into some difficult scenarios, if you will. But it has been a very interesting Sket-Tea Summer.
Not the drink. Not the drink.
We take a sip. So I would say one of the things that I have noticed is that I really struggle if people are not vocal. That is something that puts me way in my head. What's happening there? Silent people talk to me.
Yeah, I feel like that's really fair. I would feel the same.
Yeah, you need feedback.
Just a little moan.
That was one of my first forays back into sex in 2024. And that was jarring. So I was like, oh, I try my best, as I've spoken about multiple times on the podcast, to always be very present in my sexual encounters with everyone and not be like in my head about other stuff. But I have noticed that having sex with someone who is extremely quiet or more on the silent side of things gets me like way in my head.
So what I was going to say was, in that moment, do you then ask questions?
Would you like this to end?
I'm all meant, are you giving it like, is this good for you?
I was like, tell me what you like. And the answer was anything is fine. Oh my God, it's giving not much to work with. And I also did have sex with someone who they came and they said I actually came twice. I've actually not experienced that before, that someone could just keep on going with no break, not a pull out, nothing. Just keep on fucking going.
You didn't know about the first time.
I didn't know about the first time.
Interesting.
And I was like, when?
I've had sex with one man before who used to come and then would keep going.
Did you know though?
Yes.
But that's what I mean. I was like, when? When did that happen? I haven't yet. So I don't know what to say to you, boo.
You're like, congratulations, it's now 2-0.
But that led on to this situation. So I, not too long ago, went to stay with one of my friends abroad. And I was discussing that I found quieter sex quite jarring, which is fine. And I think obviously had that been a hookup that had continued on, that would have become a conversation, because I would have probably said, hey, listen, if we are going to keep doing this, I will probably need just like some more like signposting that everything is cute. So I was just relaying this info to one of my friends. And someone that I later hooked up with overheard this conversation. I mean, you can only guess what's coming.
Narration.
Listen, I appreciate a note taken on board. The conversation was relentless. And some of the things that were said were actually some of the most interesting things that have been said to me in a sexual encounter. So there was a lot of good girl, which love, we stan, getting me going. Absolutely here for that. But when this person entered me, we need to stretch this pussy out.
I can't.
I was like, we don't.
It's giving me PTSD.
Wait, if you're like vaginismus.
Yeah. Do people say that to you?
We got dark. We've got dark.
No one says it to me anymore. Quite literally, that is actually what we had to do. There were instruments.
Vaginal dilators.
And what do you say back to that?
I was like, No, I think I said, please don't. And then at one point when I was giving this person oral sex, they said, you're a sensual bitch. And I'm still undecided whether I found this hot or not. Because it's like, you're a sensual, that's fucking cute, bitch. Wait, what?
How would you want that sentence to be finished?
People are listening and taking notes right now. They're like crossing out. They're like, okay, so not bitch.
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Recently, this is really embarrassing. I found out that I'm not good at like the sexy, dirty talk thing because I would like to think that this is something that I'd be good at, but apparently it's not because what I think that you're supposed to do is like compliment someone.
This is so in keeping with your personality.
Literally, it's giving people-pleasing pillow princess.
Yeah. Jimmy's like, put this into his stand-up. Like, I thought that was dirty. It's to just like compliment.
Well, it can be.
What compliments are you giving out?
Good girl is a praise king.
Right, like that. Like, just basically being like, you're doing so well. This is great.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and he was like, I don't need compliments. Like, that's not what this is. And I was like, right, I got to go back to the drawing board.
A wonderful time was had by all. I enjoy that. So anyway, I did appreciate the note had been taken on board. It was giving 0 to 100. So I now am sensual bitch actually on multiple people's phones, which I'm still undecided as to whether I'm mad about it or proud of it.
I think be proud.
I'm like, it's sensual sket. Address me fucking properly.
Would you have liked it if he'd have called you a sensual sket?
Yeah.
The way your face just lit up, you're like, yeah.
I'm yet for someone to call me a sket during a sexual encounter for anyone listening. I will say you'll be so proud of me. Although I've acknowledged in the past that I shouldn't be having any more showmances. I don't learn my own mistakes. So I, of course, did. And it was immaculate.
Imagine being called immaculate. It's actually such a huge compliment.
Yeah, I actually think I said this before, we need to get like an endorsement badge that people can then like display on their Instagrams.
What, Peach approved?
Yeah. Yeah, legit. Like she's like, I've slept with them, I've had a situationship, they're good to go. This is a good person.
So I am endorsing an MT boy between the height of 5'10", 5'11". Not roasting on the Instagram, fully endorsing. It was an immaculate show fling.
Did it start and finish with the show?
It started and finished with the show, 10 out of 10, no notes.
Love that. That's so clean.
We were in Italy, which I'm sure obviously made all the fucking difference because Italy is gorgeous. And we were all just thrilled to be there, basically having a paid holiday. Obviously took the show very seriously, obviously. I was giving Cougar a little bit. Can't lie. But I also wonder if because like the slightly younger generation, and we're going maybe almost a 10-year age difference, maybe because there is more information out there. I will say that the men of that slightly younger generation, men penis owners, they be listening. They be paying attention. If you're listening, you're great. And I don't want your ego going out the window. But like, I was kind of like blown away by like the sexual communication and the attentiveness, because I think, you know, when you're just like in a space with someone, which sometimes normally would take like a lot of time to get to, where you are having a sexual encounter with someone and you feel like so safe with that person, that you're kind of like anything fucking goes in this moment. And I'd say it's normally with someone who you have been with for like a little while and you already know each other's bodies.
What was the difference between that situation and like other showmances that you've had?
I think in terms of like the showmance thing, it was that it was clean. There was no drama. We are still very much friends. We still have a lot of support for each other. There was just no complication about what it was, what was going on. Like we kind of both knew exactly what we were going into. The sexual communication and like the attentiveness, I was like, absolutely stunning. And this person was really fucking nice. They didn't turn into an asshole, which is something I have experienced in the past, I guess, with other showmances. Like everything was just honest and like out on the table, which as we know, last year, everything was not honest and out on the table. So like, I think that made a huge difference. Sexually, I was like, you've kind of set the bar for the men in this demographic. A new bar has been set. I was like, this person is making effort. Is that because I run a fucking sex podcast? Who knows? But I actually don't think so. They are endorsed. And I did after feel compelled to send them a message and let them know all of these things.
Hashtag peach approved.
It's like verified.
We know how like highly I hold this. I have felt the need to be like this. That was some of the best oral sex I've ever received in my life.
Wow.
But also what a nice thing to like message someone that, because obviously you're not looking for that to go further, or like you're just doing that just to be nice, like just to reassure someone that like this was an amazing experience.
And their response was, which I still really appreciate, and I did tell them, I was like, I am going to be using that on the podcast, was I feel like I've won the Oral Olympics.
Wow.
That's very good. Very good.
Number one of that demographic, you know who you are.
Nice. Well, good luck to him.
So we don't often get like a nice story.
That's so true.
And actually, after like the shit show that was last year, I was like, I'm here for this happening to me.
Who is the mystery man?
One thing that made me a bit sad to know in 2024 was I also went on a date with someone who is female presenting, non-binary. And in the bar that we were in, which was a really interesting crowd anyway, at one point when this person and I kissed, a man felt the need to come over and say, you know, that's really fucking hot for us. And I was like, excuse me, this is not for you. It's nothing to do with you. Like, are you well?
That's really weird. What's wrong with people?
So I guess it just goes to show that even in 2024, to the men and penis owners who think that women, female presenting, non-binary individuals, if you think that we are doing it for you, we're not.
It's sad that you couldn't just explore that.
And like, please stop fetishizing.
Yeah.
I can't even get to grips with how someone would think, yeah, this is an okay thing for me to go over to someone and say.
Well, we had a great fucking time. Obviously, we didn't let it fucking bother us, but I'm just, I'm offended that this is still how we're moving in 2024. And I guess it still shows me that there's a lot of work still to be done. But I would like to say a successful Sket-Tea summer, but I think other people have had some successful Sket-Tea summers because we have been sent some stories. Katie Faye, I believe it's time for you to read out some because I'm thrilled about all of them.
Okay. After always being in a relationship, I decided to finally be single and have a big, wild fuckfest of a summer. 15 people and lots of fun stories to tell you. I've always been a very sexual person, and having the time to allow myself to be a bit of a player and a top shagger honestly has been one of the most empowering experiences ever for me as a woman. My favourite story from the summer was I reconnected with an old friend. Our families know each other and I've been friends with this person since I was about 6. He is absolutely my type in every single way, and honestly it was the best shag I have ever had. We spent a few days together in an absolute sex hole doing nothing but eating, drinking, laughing and having the most outrageous sex of my life. I've always wanted to finger a bumhole, and at one point, you bet I lubed up his asshole and stuck my little finger in whilst wanking him off. To quote, he said, I orgasmed twice in my ass and then came. And just like that, I became the bumhole fingering rimming queen of the summer. We had a great conversation about bumholes. As he said, in his opinion, men should normalise having bum fun more often, and as a straight man, he absolutely loves it. At this point, he presented me with a 12-inch dildo that he said he occasionally uses to reach his G-spot. I don't know what came over me, but the next thing I knew, this dildo was stuck to the floor and I was riding it for dear life like a porn star whilst he was sat watching me for about 30 minutes. Now, I low-key love this guy and he has asked me on holiday, but he wants absolutely nothing more than a friendship with fun. Do you think, as women, we can put our feelings aside and have a genuine friendship with someone with just sex? Well, I think my point to this would be that I don't think you can put feelings aside.
As someone who fell in love with their best friend, absolutely not.
I think you can definitely have sex without feelings if you don't have feelings for that person.
I agree.
But if the feelings are established in there, that's it.
It does heighten it.
Yeah.
I completely agree. But it's hard because if you are having the best shag of your life,
especially when the sex is so good,
much harder to say no to when that is the case.
But equally, the story itself is quite frankly phenomenal.
10 out of 10 no notes, but you're going to have a think about that, doll. Because as someone who, as I said, fell in love with their best friend and it ended in nothing but disaster, I would say take sex off the table for a little while until you don't. But you know what? You're not going to pay attention to us. You're going to go on holiday. You're going to have lots of sex with them and you're going to be sad about it.
Yeah.
As I was. So.
Yep. And yep.
Do what you have to do and we will be here to support you at the end of it.
Correct.
Went on holiday, commented to my friend, "He's the most gorgeous man I've ever seen." My friend shouted him over and told him what I said. I wasn't single at this point. We'll just skip over that bit. Went back to said holiday destination a month later. Oh, okay, fine. So I think I didn't read ahead.
Right.
I think the month later, this person is single. Okay, fair. Not me jumping the gun. This beautiful guy asked me to spend a day with him at a boat party. Obviously, I said yes. He asked me, did I want a shot? I said yes and followed him inside the boat. Next thing, I'm naked, getting shagged to death on the floor of a boat in the middle of the Mediterranean. The boat party finished and he asked me to go back to his, so I said bye to my friend and headed to his flat. Because we were drunk, I had the most experimental night of sex of my life. At one point, we were sat on the kitchen floor, butt naked, cross-legged, fingering, wanking each other off and just laughing. He then played me the ukulele, still ass naked. It was the best night ever.
Aww, that's cute.
What's wrong, Katie?
I don't know. I feel like the uke was a step too far for me.
Like little somewhere over the rainbow.
But naked as well.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it. It sounds great. And you know what? I'm like happy for the most magical night of their life featuring the uke. I would like to know what they were playing actually. Do you know what I really hate about these season finales is that we never get the context that we deserve.
Yeah, you cowards. Like
and then we request it, but we never really loop back around.
No, you say that. I've had people come up to me or message me and go, "Oh, I was that story."
Well, I'm glad people feel comfortable enough to message you about it, but you don't share that with the rest of us. So if you want to share the wealth a little bit, Devika.
Like about the tour episode, I've had people then message me and go, "Oh, I was like the third to last story that you told." Ha ha ha.
Right, and then are you getting context and then are you sharing it with the group?
I can.
Yeah, well, you should be.
Yeah, well, that would be nice, actually, wouldn't it? Maybe that's why people are telling you.
Safe space.
So this is a continuation from the same person from before. They've really been going to town. There's sadly been a few horror stories throughout my Sket-Tea summer. A guy I really like, in brackets, could be husband, farted multiple times whilst going for gold, fucking me. I'm not talking a tiny slip of gas. I'm talking full-blown, long and loud farting one after the other whilst my face was in my pillow in horror. I didn't say anything at the time as I was so horrified, but I can't get it out of my mind. Do you laugh this off and forget about it? Or is farting whilst fucking a real big red flag?
It's a description of the fart.
I'm not a very gassy person, so I don't know how it must feel to be like, I need to do that.
What if it was happening while you were having sex with someone? Not to you, but to the other person.
I don't think anyone has ever farted whilst having sex with me. Like, I've never experienced that. Listen, bodies are bodies, and like, I'm like, no shame, whatever. But I think if like it happened like once or twice, I'd be like, whatever. But if it was like continuous, I'd be like, are you okay? Like, do
I need to call someone?
Do you need to stop and go and use the bathroom? Because like, you can. Like, are you well? Are your bowels okay?
Oh my God, that's so funny. Imagine just like, would you like to go? use the bathroom.
That's what I would do. What would you do?
That is so fair. And I probably would do the same. It's just really, really funny to think about. I just can't believe that this happened and went completely undiscussed by either of them.
So what, you would let it happen, and then the next day at breakfast you'd be like, are we going to talk about yesterday?
I would definitely mention it in the moment. I think I would laugh immediately if somebody farted in bed with me, and then I would like find the funniness in the situation. I'd be like, "Are you done? Would you like to go and relieve yourself elsewhere and come back into this
Also, if
space?"
you're the person who is doing it, wouldn't you be like, excuse me? Why are you not saying anything? Because if it's a thing that's attached to you having sex, like if that is something that happens to you actively, like when you are like fucking someone, I'd probably be inclined to be like, hey, listen.
Actually, never comes a point in life where farting's not funny.
Hey, listen. When I fuck, I fart. Do you know what I mean?
Or don't be alarmed if this happens.
When I'm having sex with someone, like my bowels go fucking wild. I don't know.
It's actually killed me off.
That is like so rogue that I don't know. I do think if I was on the receiving end of it,
But equally,
I don't think I would keep my head smashed in the pillow and just.
would it not be really awkward if someone just walked out and left the room and went did like a little fart outside the corridor and then came back in?
It doesn't sound like it would be a little fart. It sounds like they've got bowel problems.
Oh, God, that's so funny. Right.
I think either way it needed to be addressed.
I agree. I think there needs to be a conversation around it.
I don't think I could continue if that was happening to someone and they were fucking me. I'd be like, what is going on? But like, Godspeed and God bless. I hope your bowels are okay.
My next horror story was the guy I booty called. He smelled bad when he got to my house. Can't finish that part of the story. So I offered up a shower. When he returned back from the shower, he still stank. But I thought, goodness, I can't very well ask him to double cleanse his body, can I? I was absolutely sober and he asked for some wine. I thought, sure, and gave him a glass. And before I knew it, there we were in my bedroom and I was looking forward to getting dicked. To my disgust, he decided to not just spit, but grog on my vagina before putting a cock ring on. I honestly lay there in shock at the fact he just grogged on my little flower.
Not little flower.
And I took the biggest bath of my life when he left. And I felt so sad. I'm not really into pussy spitting, especially with the standard booty call. What would you have done to navigate a situation like this with something happening that you didn't enjoy in the moment? If someone came to my house and they smelled, and then I had to send them to the shower, and then they came back and they still smelled, I would send them home.
And this is the same person who was like, I didn't say anything when someone was aggressively farting when we were having sex, but someone turned up at their place and they were like, do you want a shower?
Yeah, how did they navigate that? Like, hi, thank you so much for coming over.
Do you want a shower?
No.
If somebody still smelled and I'd sent them in for a shower and they weren't clean and I thought, maybe this is going to result in sex, I'd maybe be like, oh, maybe we should shower together.
Let's have shower sex.
Let's get back in. Let me just soap you up before we get going.
Let me watch you shower. Yeah.
There's so much to unpack in that story.
There really is.
The grog, the little flower.
The little flower.
Well, if someone did something to me that I really wasn't enjoying, I'd be like, what are you doing?
I mean, how do you both feel about an aggressive spit on the pussy?
I like it.
Do you? Interesting.
I've never had that.
Well, Jimmy, step up, mate.
It's given hockter.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's giving a hock tour.
If I'm in the moment, I am all for it. It depends what they do with that situation after. What I am not a fan of is the fucking tapping that we see in porn, that some people have obviously also seen in porn and tried to reenact. I'm not a fan of
That on the pussy?
the hitting it on, yeah.
I love that.
When they like hit your clit.
Did
Did it not hurt?
No.
Well, there we go. Like, see, like, look at the variety that we've got even just here.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. In fact, I have managed to come, like squirt cum purely from that.
See, if someone starts fucking beating the shit out of my clit, I'm like, what are you doing?
As in, was that the only thing that you were doing from start to finish?
Yep.
What?
Not from start to finish. Obviously, I'd been built up before that, but then like to really, really get me there, it was like just,
hard.
Not like beating the shit out of it, just like
punching.
A nice little...
Yeah, like well, maybe that's the difference, because I think like sometimes you see it in porn, like they're like trying to like wake something from the dead.
Yeah, no, it doesn't need to be that hard. Not for me anyway.
So 2 questions. One, I had a friend telling me a story about how someone had asked him to slap her on the vagina in an Uber.
Wait, they were in the Uber?
Yeah.
As in she wanted him to slap her on the vagina in the Uber?
Yes.
Okay. Bare vagina or on top of jeans?
Yeah, was she clothed?
I think she was clothed.
Right.
But then he told me that story and I thought that was really random, but apparently people like being slapped.
Yeah.
I've like never heard that before. Also, one of Peach's episodes, she talked about having a tongue in the ear, and I've never heard that in my life.
Did you send in the question? Because someone sent in a question about the tongue in the ear.
No, I sent you a private message on my... I always send her notes from her episodes, and I was like, what the fuck is a tongue in the ear thing? Because I don't know this.
Oh, well, we'll get there. There's questions about it.
I was like, am I missing out? Is this a thing that people know about? What is sex?
Sex is so stupid. But yeah, I'm happy for someone to spit on it. You're happy for someone to punch it. So. WWE the shit out of your vagina.
Yeah, give it to me. What was the end of the question? Did we answer it? Oh, how would you have navigated it? Yeah, I think we've answered it.
As we know, when someone was giving it McDonald's straw, sucking the absolute life out of my vagine, I said, please don't do that to anyone else ever again. But now we know different people like different things. So maybe someone else would have liked that. I was a lot younger then, giving literally maybe 6,000 years ago. So I would say I really don't like that.
And I'm actually just going to dry off the excess, if that's okay, and then we can go again.
I'd say not a wonderful time was had by all.
Had by
Definitely
all.
not, no.
I've got another like sad one.
Oh, no.
Went on a few dates with a guy from Hinge. On the 3rd date, we went to meet his friends at a music event. It was awful. I ended up out till 7 a.m. We got back to his flat in no fit state for anything. However, I was aware enough to see his flat was minging. Bed unmade. Fucking hell, Katie Faye could never.
Get in the bin.
Clothes everywhere, dirty bathroom, trash kitchen. I decided to shag him anyway as he smelt decent. Interesting.
Redeeming.
Granted, it was 8 a.m. Oh my God. And we were worse for wear, but he lay his whole body on top of me, buried his head in my ear, and humped me like a jacket potato for 15 minutes. We slept for an hour, then I had to leave for work. I'm guessing he was so mortified, he pretended to be asleep when I left. I even shook him to wake him up. Nothing. Never seen him again.
Oh, he died.
I'm like, is he dead?
Oh, he's dead.
Is he alive? Bed minging.
I'd have gone home.
Not the jacket potato.
You guys really deliver on the language used.
I agree.
My last story is honestly bizarre. I matched with a guy on an app and realised I knew this man and we had connected in a professional way in the past. He was super hot and we decided something casual and fun would be wonderful for us. Amazing, I thought. I invited him round to mine for some fun and he said he was on his way and if there was anything he should pick up on the way. I said latex-free condoms as I'm allergic to latex. This man literally went mental at me and was sending me pretty rude voice notes stating that if I was allergic to latex, then I should be the one providing the safety. I then said, I do actually have some, but they are a size large. He said he wouldn't fit into the large and that he was just turning back home as it had become a bit stressful. I'm a very caring person and sent a lovely message back saying, I totally understood that stress and in no way was I making him feel inadequate with the condoms that I had and was just stating the size, but we would do it another time. I was pretty weirded out by how quickly he turned on me and he was almost making out that me not having condoms was my fault, but I decided to give the situation another chance. The next time he came around and not only the same situation happened with the condoms, but he asked me for money for the condoms and expected an Uber back home after the party. We never got round to having some fun in the end, which I think was probably a good thing. But my question to you is, should men be prepared when it comes to providing condoms that are suitable for the women they are having sex with?
Oh, that's so interesting.
Right?
Because I think the reaction was really unnecessary.
So this is actually from one of my friends. So I remember this happening at the time. And I remember going through it and I was like, this seems like a really intense response to something that's quite simple. It's weird, isn't it? Because I think, especially if you're going to ask if you can pick something up and then the intention is that you're going to have sex. And if someone says, can you bring condoms that are latex free? Like, it's not her fault that she's allergic.
And also, if you're offering to buy something in the first place, what difference does it make what type you pick up? It's the same. To me, it's the same as me saying, if I'm going over to someone's house, can I bring a bottle of wine? And then saying, cool, but can you get red wine because I'm allergic to white wine? I do think, because I am someone who always has condoms, but I would also always expect the other person to as well, because I think we are all responsible for our own sexual health and sexual safety. And as she said, she did have some.
Yeah.
That's problematic. That's not really for me.
No, I agree. I just feel like all parties who are participating in the sex should be giving it, we're going to prioritize safety here.
On board with protection, 100%. I completely agree. One night, my wife and I were getting intimate. Anyway, things progressed, and when she put her fingers inside me, I felt an intense burning. Obviously, we stopped until we realized the reason for the burning, which was caused because she had chopped up chilies for dinner earlier in the evening. And you know how it is when you rub your eye after that? Never again.
As soon as you said about we realised, I was like, she was chopping chilies. Oh, God.
What are your thoughts, Dev, Miss Hot Sauce?
I'm intrigued.
That would literally kill. Like, have you done the chili in the eye thing before?
Yeah, I've done that by accident, and it's been fucking awful.
It is the worst thing. Like, you literally feel as if you've stabbed yourself in the eye with a curling tongue.
Have you done the tea tree shower gel?
Oh, yeah, I don't use that because it stings my new.
It's giving thrush. I hear that. I hear thrush.
You're what?
My new.
You're new.
My new.
You're new.
Yeah.
We're not even going with nunny anymore. It's
my new.
Okay. We're gonna stretch out that new.
Oh no. Let's stretch out that new.
Oh. She even tried. She tried to make that sexy.
Listen, the last one that I got sent in was got a hand job from my ex on It's a Small World in Disney World. Was the most awkward thing ever. I feel like we've been sent that before. Is that the same one, or are multiple people giving hand jobs on It's a Small World?
They even talk about it on The Big Bang Theory.
They do.
So maybe it's like a thing.
But how long is It's a Small World? Because I feel like
it's a really long, slow ride. And it plays that like, it's a small world.
It's a Small World is very creepy. There's no two ways about it.
I don't know how anyone's getting wet or hard in that instance.
Maybe someone's getting turned on by It's a Small World, and that's something that needs discussing. If that many people are doing it.
Clearly, actually, yeah, fair.
So we've only been sent a couple of questions, which makes me think that maybe these season finales are like not really the place for people to be sending sensible questions. Actually, the first one was, can someone tell me where girls learn the tongue in ear thing? Drives me a bit wild and wants to be able to reciprocate.
I'll leave this up to you guys.
You just put your tongue in someone's ear. What do you mean?
That's not a course.
But where did you learn that this was a thing? I've never heard of this. I've never seen this represented.
What do you mean?
I've never heard of this being a sexual thing.
The tongue in the ear?
Not once.
Has no one put their tongue in your ear?
God, no.
Really? Oh, yeah.
I'm going to tell Jimmy to do that.
The night is young.
I fucking love it. I'm wild for it.
I do. Although it can't be a super juicy tongue, because I've had that before where it's been like mega wet, and actually then that was kind of a bit of an ick.
But what are they doing?
Oh, so you've got to have the exact right amount of saliva.
The exact...
Are they just sticking their tongue into your ear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously it's like a kiss, and then it's like the start of a kiss.
Yeah.
You know, like you start with just like without tongues, and then slowly the tongue like just slithers its way into peach pie.
Oh, God.
Okay. This is what we're going to do at work.
Sorry, what?
At work.
I'm going to get Katie Faye to do it to me at work. That's
I was like, oh, you're going to get off this podcast tonight and go and do it to Jimmy. No, you're doing it at work.
Yeah.
No, this is what she's going to do with me when she's next on shift with me. Okay, yeah, sure.
Well, to the person who sent it in, they said, please tell me where the girls learn the tongue in the ear thing. I think I've always done that and had that done to me. But obviously at this point, I know the common erogenous zones on someone's body and the ear is one.
Yeah.
Even if someone's giving it kiss the neck, kiss up to the earlobe, a little bite of the earlobe, put the tongue in my ear, I'm like, oh my God, I'm close.
Oh, it just all sends me. Yeah.
Yeah, we love an earlobe. I love an earlobe, but not in your fucking ear. Oh my God. Okay, this is honestly mind-blowing. I messaged her the second I heard it on her podcast, and I was like, wait, is this a thing? Whoever asked that question, thank you.
I think you should put your tongue in Jimmy's ear and just see what happens.
Yeah, definitely.
And then also be like, do it back.
He also does love my ears, so, there we go.
That's cute.
He does.
Someone said, do you think rimming is the lost art of the sex world? Well, I suppose it is if you're into rimming.
Yeah, I would say so.
You think it's the lost art?
I don't know if it's a lost art, though. People still, well, not multiple. Not anymore. But I have had that done to me.
As I've mentioned many times, I can give or take it being done to me. Like, I'm like, if you want to do it and you enjoy it, cute. Because I'm not that fussed by it. And also, if your like tongue is in that arena, that's not really where I want it to be.
Sure.
But I'm happy to do it. It really doesn't faze me at all. Obviously, as long as people are like clean, hygienic.
Whereas I prefer a tongue there more than I do on my pussy.
Just the way you said that is so good.
Cannot relate. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about right now. But maybe obviously that's where like more of your nerve endings are.
Wow.
Which is like interesting.
So just the like in terms of any kind of oral, that's your preferred.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you think you could orgasm from that?
No.
But can you orgasm from normal oral sex?
No.
No, never.
No, never. I get so bored. Yeah.
Interesting. Bored?
She's fucking doing her taxes there. She's like, all right.
I actually do go off into a world like that's away from sex, and then that's why I like always will pull someone up and out of it. I'm like, come on then, let's move on.
Have you ever?
No, never.
In your life?
Never.
Interesting.
How long do you let them try?
Like a decent amount of time. To begin with, I guess I kind of feel things, and then it just starts to wear off.
See, for me, sometimes it depends what mood I'm in. Sometimes it's very quick for me. But one occasion over Sket-Tea Summer, when someone was doing that, they said, and I didn't, it's not even a situation where this was necessarily going to be the case, but they said, because I think a lot of women and vulva owners get nervous that they're like taking too long. And they will start to then like lose it a little bit because they will start to be in their head about, oh, I hope this isn't taking too long, X, Y, Z. But this person said, take your time. And obviously I came within about a fucking minute. Because I think it was just the like acknowledgement of like, if it takes a while, that's completely fine.
Yeah. That's nice.
That is a nice thing to say, actually.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Looking for sex toy recommendations as a male wanting to surprise a female sexual partner, something to use during foreplay, but also during penetrative sex.
I liked the pebble. Or the like, there's like one you can put onto your finger, or someone can put onto their finger that they can,
and it like vibrates.
Yeah.
I would just always have to say the Satisfier.
I would agree.
Obsessed.
Just has to be every time.
I would always say like a clitoral stimulation toy, although as I said, I think on the last season finale, that can sometimes be a nightmare for me because if someone is inside me and I orgasm with that on me, it literally like pushes them out.
Yeah, that is the same for me. So I wonder if it would be the same for everybody else. I don't know.
It's not fucking game over. I'm like, I've pushed you out, but you can come back here and you're welcome back.
Oh, yeah. So it is game over for me.
You're like, good night.
But that's fine because like you can use it up until the point of coming. Like, well, not like maybe just before that for like the startup, then get into the other stuff. Then for me, ultimate position, lying on the front, legs like kind of closed, they're in behind you. Satisfier like comes underneath you, like just underneath onto that spot there.
Ooh.
But if you come before they have, tough shit.
No, they can still come after.
But that's what I meant. Like, if it's like once you come, that's what I mean. I'm like, you're welcome back in.
Yeah, no, they will not be welcome back in. Like, I can suck you off, I can give you a hand job, whatever, but you won't be coming back inside me.
Goodbye. Have a nice evening.
Closed for business.
But I do think it is a good one that can be used because also they can use it on their own. Like, you can use it to satisfy them independently, and then you can use it during partnered play as well. So not just the satisfy, but I would say anything of like the clitoral suction realm.
Yeah, agreed.
So someone has sent this in and they have said, what to do if your boyfriend of over a year has never had sex with you due to fear of doing it the first time.
Dev, I feel like you need to take this one.
Yeah, I think I would try to take the pressure off the situation. And I think, I mean, obviously, if you've been together for a year, then like you have a rapport, you've got ability to communicate. And I would just hope that you would be able to approach that, in a non-judgmental kind of space. And obviously, that's an issue that affects both of you. So the way that I would hope that someone could approach that is just saying, hi, this is something that I would like for our relationship. Is this something that you would like for our relationship? And then take it from there. Because like so many things can affect it, like, you know, mental health, or even if they've never done it before, it could be a conversation that maybe they're waiting for someone else to bring it up before they divulge everything. Because those things can be really awkward and painful. And so I would just hope that there would be a way to open that dialogue, right? Because you just have no idea what that person's going to say. Right.
And I think also just letting them know that there's no right or wrong. And for most of us, at whatever point in our lives we had sex for the first time, none of us knew what the fuck we were doing. I mean, like, I still don't know that any of us do know. Like, sex is so silly. Like, what are we doing? I say it all the time. What are we doing? Every time you have sex with someone new, you're still navigating a new body. So whether you've had sex with 2 people, 20 people, 200 people, of course, yes, the more you have sex, the more just comfortable with having sex you might get, because you're like, here we go again. But it's still a completely new person. So even if it's your 200th person you've had sex with, they might like something completely different to the 199 people that came before them. So there is no right, there is no wrong. Even if you do have sex, penetrative sex, I guess, which is what you're talking about, for the first time, and it all goes awry, things go, I don't like to use the word wrong because it gives a binary of right and wrong that I don't really believe in, because I think we have to allow ourselves the freedom to like explore and allow things to just be what they are. But even if you do have sex for the first time and things don't go as you planned, that's perfectly fine, because then you have some information of what felt good for both of you, what didn't feel good for both of you, what felt comfortable for both of you. And then you can use that information to move forward, because you'll be able to pinpoint things within that worked for you or didn't. And that just informs you continuing to move forward. Yeah. The first time you have sex is always going to be like nerve-wracking and uncomfortable, because what even is it?
Yeah, like with any new person, right?
That sounds like such a trivial way to put it, but like, what is it? We're literally just like putting like body parts in other body parts and like hoping it feels cute.
Yeah. I feel like baby steps, just like create a really comfortable, safe space. It might be really daunting, especially if maybe whoever the person is who sent the question in, if they've had sex before, there's probably then the added pressure of like, you've had it with other people, I've not had that. End of the day, like, you're in a loving, committed relationship, clearly, because you've had a year-long relationship without any sex. And I think that some credit would also need to be given to you for the fact that you clearly love your other half. you know, and you've managed to fall in love with them without having that sexual connection, which I think is something that actually aids a lot of us to be able to fall deeper in love with somebody. But the fact that you've got like this loving, committed relationship without that aspect is already like such a beautiful thing. And so I think you need to highlight that and say like, we are here and I'm already like very, very much in this and committed to you. I would love to take our relationship to the next step. We can absolutely take it at your own pace, but I would love to feel as if we're making at least some progress in getting there.
And also, if that's something that you're not interested in, that's information that I need or that we need to discuss. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because we're going on to the last section of the season finale, which is always the would you rathers. The first one that someone has sent in is, would you rather never have an orgasm or never find true love?
I mean, I'd probably go orgasm. Only because I think sex was something I was interested in, but it wasn't a particularly driving force in my relationships and how I navigated the world. So to me, I was like very interested in finding someone that I could fall in love with and connect to. And I think if, for whatever reason, like we discussed, if sex had to come off the table for a year, that would be fine for me. What I would struggle with would be losing the love and the romance.
This is really set a cat amongst the pigeons.
Right, because I'm like obviously the other one. I'll be giving it orgasms twice a day for the rest of my life. Apparently you live longer. I'm literally going to be living to actually 10,006. So.
Which is actually tomorrow. So see, if you'd have asked me this question 7 years ago, I would have said like never have an orgasm.
Okay.
But now I know how good they are. I
also think if I didn't have an orgasm, there's no fucking way I'd find true love because no one would want to be anywhere near me. I wouldn't even have any friends. I'd be such an absolute piece of shit of a human.
That's fair.
If I miss like my daily 2, I'm kind of moody. Like I'm pretty fucking snappy.
What did you do? We've been on holiday a lot, and I've been like up in your grill 24/7. Like, what were you doing in that?
Yeah, that's fair. You didn't go in Barcelona, did you? What did you do in the shower?
Maybe.
Did you?
It was to save all of you from me being fucking bitch.
There's no judgment. I'm kind of really here for it.
Yeah, it's like for my health.
My answer is never find true love. It's going to kill me.
No, I love that for you.
Well, I hope he wouldn't, because I hope he'd be like, it's just a would you rather on Peach's ridiculous podcast.
And she is the breakdown of the nuclear family.
And she already agreed to have a fucking threesome with us. So honestly, worse things have been said on this episode. Would you rather never have sex again or never eat your favorite food again?
Never have sex again.
I'm obsessed with you.
I'm going to pretend that I waited an extra 5 seconds to answer that, just out of respect.
So when I said that, what is the food that came to your mind that you're like, I couldn't give that up for sex?
I mean, instantly a black pepperoni stick. Like, that's the first thing that came.
I actually cannot breathe that you would rather.
She's like, I'll give up sex, but I will deep throat the black pepperoni stick daily.
Because that's been there for me since I was young.
I cannot believe that that's just been said.
I have my daily orgasm. She has her daily pepperami. It is what it is. We move how we move.
Who's to say who's happier? It's you. You.
I think I can get off this with a technicality. I love food so much that I can actually never really pick a favourite.
No, you have to.
No, I can't. There isn't one. I just love all food.
If you were told you can have one meal.
What? So the option for me is that I can either have one meal for the rest of my life or never have sex.
No, your favourite food is what you would pick if you were told you could have one last meal.
I literally do not know the answer to that question.
That's not an option.
I don't know what to tell you.
If you were on death row and they were like, you have to pick a last meal, what would it be?
I would say you will have to bring me the following: a Sunday roast, a pizza.
It's not an option.
A vodka pasta.
A vodka pasta.
with burrata.
Obviously, I'm not eating my favourite food again.
That is my answer.
I'll be sad, but I'll live.
Yeah.
Would you rather only have sex with your... I don't love how this is worded, but that's not my fault. Would you rather only have sex with your worst lay for the rest of your life, or have the most mind-blowing sex once, I know what Dev's going to pick, and then never have sex again for the rest of your life?
Both of those are great for me. Like, I can't lose there. I've slept with 2 people, so the worst lay is one of my 2 sexual partners, and they were great. So,
oh, right. Okay, fair.
Those are the options.
These are really hard. I have had some really questionable sexual encounters.
I've had sex with people with whom we are definitely not compatible.
Yeah, that's to say the least. Can I masturbate?
It's not specified.
Then I will be having the most mind-blowing sex once and then masturbating for all of eternity.
I'm going to choose the worst lay and pray that I can teach them differently.
Good. Okay, so you're getting slurped up like a milkshake for the rest of your life.
That
Enjoy.
isn't who I was thinking of.
Who are you thinking of?
I would like to think that, like, over time, I could communicate my way through that
With
the person that it would be.
who is named.
Whose given name at birth was.
Who is it?
I'm fucking going to name them. Devika, you got to choose one.
I'd probably go worst lay. To be fair, that's actually a really funny story, because when Jimmy and I first started sleeping together, he asked me if he was the best sex I'd have. Bearing in mind, I'd slept with one other person, and I stopped and thought about it.
Imagine if Jimmy is the worst lay she's ever had.
If that is who she's thinking of, this would you rather is real.
It's real life. I know. That's what I mean. Dev is living out this would you rather.
No, he was so offended that I had to think about it. I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about it.
But also, I do think, obviously, it's experience to experience, isn't it? So, even with long-term partners, sometimes you'll have sex with them that you're like, this isn't really working this time. You know what I mean?
Precisely. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like the last couple, people know things about me.
Oh.
Would you rather hear dirty talk, but their voice is ridiculously annoying and makes you want to die, or have 100% silent sex?
100% silent sex.
Yeah, same. Because I don't think I'd be able to switch off from the...
I probably would have said that, but having had silent sex, I'm now unsure.
What if they're giving it
It's so hard.
Super high, super nasal, we're gonna have to stretch open this pussy?
If I'm going to keep going when someone's going to tell me they want to stretch this pussy out, I'm like, I feel like I can go with the dirty talk with a voice.
Fine, enjoy.
Unless it was super funny. But maybe you enjoy that.
I love to laugh during sex.
Yeah.
I love to love it for the silly fucking thing it is. Okay, would you rather... This is giving you, Dev, actually, and you'll understand why.
What?
Would you rather receive oral sex from your celebrity crush for a week, or receive a lifetime supply of donuts?
That's not me, but that's a great question.
It's so specific. Someone knows me. Who is it? Having had oral sex from my celebrity crush for 4 days, I'd probably pick that.
You don't want the lifetime supply of fucking donuts?
I do love when you buy me a donut multiple times a year, it must be said. Dev often supplies me with donuts. My celebrity crush from when I was a teenager, last year I did have a little dalliance with.
Situation.
So as someone who has had oral sex from their celebrity crush, I had a great time. And that side of things is excellent.
That's definitely getting my pick.
More than donuts?
Easy. I don't like donuts, so...
You don't like oral sex either?
What was it, oral sex?
Yeah.
Yes, I'd still take it.
Devika?
I'd go donuts.
That was a tougher one for me than the cheese, if I'm honest.
Sweet delicious cheese.
I'd pick a donut over sweet delicious cheese.
What would you do, Dev? That's a hard one for Dev.
I'd pick cheese.
So the last, would you rather? People love to involve an animal.
What?
Well, last time we had the goat.
Okay.
Would you rather be able to have sex, but only if a tarantula is crawling on you?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No, whatever the other one is.
Or never have sex again?
That one. Never have sex ever again.
No, see, I would do the tarantula.
Good for you.
I'm becoming Spider-Woman.
What if you couldn't see it?
I feel physically sick even just thinking about this.
What if Hugh Jackman came to you with a tarantula and was like...
I will be saying, it is a pleasure to meet you. You can leave your furry little friend outside and come in. No, No.
Never have sex again.
Never. I swear to God, get that fucking furry 8-legged creature away from me.
We only think they're gross because we've been taught that they're gross.
I don't feel that way when they crawl with their legs. It legit makes me want to like shrivel up and die.
I wouldn't love it. I'd be reading fucking Spider-Man comics. Like, how do I make this work? What do you think Martin would choose?
That's a good question.
What if the tarantula was crawling on him?
Good question.
Oh.
So it was like there, but not touching you. And like the tarantula was like on the back of his leg. So you couldn't see it, but it's involved.
But it could potentially touch me at any given moment.
No, it's just chilling there.
If it's just chilling and it's not going to move, fine.
What if the tarantula crawled up?
I don't know how this is so interesting.
What if one of the tarantula legs got involved and it felt kind of cute?
Or just giving it tap, tap, tap.
Giving it tap, tap, tap.
It's making me sick.
But you didn't know.
Oh, she looks red.
No.
I don't want the tarantula involved either. Like
We found the line.
we found the line. Dev, wait, what are you choosing?
Yeah, I'm like, I'll deal with the tarantula. For sure. I could get on board with that. I think as long as I can see it, I can ascertain its motives.
Which might be what?
To kill me. or to get involved.
No one's getting killed by the tarantula.
Great. If I just have eyes on it, I'm good.
Well, listeners, I don't know how long you have got into this, but I can confirm that this has been 3 hours and 25 minutes.
Giving Les Mis.
But you've created something incredible, and it should be celebrated.
Friends, lovers, listeners.
I don't know when this turned into a roast of my introductions.
Thanks for coming.
As we round up season 3, is there anything anyone wants to add?
I would say it's been really encouraging to hear people want to volunteer their stories more, because I know that you've had guests on like this season that maybe didn't necessarily want to be telling their story for whatever reason in the first few seasons. So it's been really nice to watch like this grow and the community grow. And then people, like I said, coming up to us at parties or in bars and saying, I love the show and I loved your episode. Like that has felt really amazing for me. So I can't imagine what that's like for you. And the fact that people have recognized you based on the podcast and not your like extensive body of work must be incredible. And I just think it's just,
Yeah, that's really cool.
just a really positive environment. And I wish that there were more of these and that, you know, you weren't censored by Instagram and all these fucking censorship laws, because that's not even laws. Whatever they're doing, it just makes no sense, because all you're trying to do is create a safe space for people. And it's made, you know, me feel comfortable. I've had people DM me after listening to my episode 2 years down the line. So I just think that's a really beautiful thing that you've created. So thank you.
I'm glad that people have messaged you.
Yeah, that is cute.
Yeah, Instagram hates my fucking guts. So
We're all powering on through that.
keep sharing.
I would like to add, just before we finish, whoever sent in the last question, which was about them having sex, we would really love to know how you get on. So even if you don't want to share it with the rest of the world, like, please do share it with us, how you get on with that. Hopefully it goes well for you.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
yeah,
And if it doesn't, we'll help.
we will support you through that as well. Yeah, 100%.
Thank you so much for joining me for the season 3 finale of Sex on the Beach. I'm exhausted. Thank you for coming and being here with me and chatting through my stories, everyone else's stories, all of the things. Thank you for always being here to share these season finales with me.
Can we do our thanks for comings together?
Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Thanks for coming.
Friends, lovers, listeners, thank you so much for joining us today, and a huge thank you to Dev and Katie for joining me today, even if roasting my intro is turning into the new brunch banter. And whilst I'm at it, I want to say thank you to the beautiful guests who have joined me over this past season: Jess and Mike Miller, Shakira Scott, Kelly Michelle Gray, Taofique Folarin and Radclyffe Baker. Thank you for sharing your vulnerability, your experiences, and your invaluable conversations. I am so grateful to all of you and to everyone who continues to share with me and trust me with your openness. And lastly, thank you to everyone who continues to tune in to Sex on the Peach. It's a lot of work, probably more than it seems, to run a podcast as a one-gal band. Even more so when social media is intent on censoring you. And so every time you listen, share, like, subscribe, download, it all makes it worth it. Let's keep opening up the conversation around sex and making it a safer space for everyone. I will be back after that 69-day in-between season break, but please do continue to send me questions in the meantime, and I will be back very soon. But for now, thanks for coming. Thank you for tuning in to Sex on the Peach today, and I hope that you enjoyed this week's episode. You can find and follow me on Instagram, YouTube and TikTok at Sex on the Peach Cast, and you can also get in touch with me at sexonthepeachcast@gmail.com. Please do continue to like, share, subscribe, rate and review wherever you listen to your podcasts, and I'll see you next week. Love, Peach.